There is this guy called John Walsh who makes documentaries about hunting on killers because he lost a 6-year-old son himself, though to murder. Well, that's what he says in every documentary that he makes. And lately, I decided to watch a crime documentary again just to see where things are headed around here. I kind of already know things are getting worse until Christ returns, but I just watched one. And this case was about a 15-year-old girl that was brutally murdered, knifed down, and beaten by another teenager. And here's the thing, the boyfriend of the female killer was just smoking his, I don't know what type of drug he was smoking his drugs. What was happening, because he had no intention of getting involved. It's quite weird. Well, that guy is serving a 34-year prison sentence in the state of Texas right now. And the killer, Jennifer Puente, is still on the run. Well, that is the case. I've checked whether they found this Jennifer Puente. They still haven't found her. I mean, it can be that they did, but I just didn't find the right source about it. So you can correct me on that. But there's one thing about this case that is really remarkable to me. It's not that it was a 15-year-old girl that was killed, because nobody should be killed. Murdered, better said. The killer carved a pentagram on the victim. So she was an evil witch. That's what she was. But during the documentary, they did not even point that out. Now, let me get it straight. So you have this jealous witch, jealous, envious witch, who's into devil worship. You have this Ahab boyfriend, who just gets along with everything she's doing. She decided to make a blood sacrifice. And even before she killed that 15-year-old victim, she was already talking about killing people, set them on fire, and all of that. She already had those weird fantasies. And I was thinking, if someone is expressing weird fantasies like that, diabolical fantasies, why didn't anyone just report her and force her to get mental help? Or at least to force her into asylum just to keep herself and others safe. And then there's another thing on the part of the parents. I'm not going to be harsh on the parents because they lost 2 children in a relatively short time, because one of the siblings of this 15-year-old girl died of depression. So they were going through a rough time. But here's the thing. If you have a teenage daughter and she has some friends and she has a bad feeling about them, why don't you investigate why your daughter is so interested in them? I mean, some people say, well, shit, you're not a parent. I don't have to be. Some things are just natural sense. Look, I'm not saying it's the parents' fault that it happened. Absolutely not. But somewhere I feel that there was some type of hesitation on the part of the parents to look deeper into the matter. But okay, apart from that, this Jennifer Puente, she was not a loner. She was not. So don't tell me nobody noticed that she was escalating. People did notice. People just didn't want to be involved. And that is what I've been teaching you on YouTube for years. Worldlings in general, even if they are good-hearted people with good intentions, they're still worldlings. They're still stuck with a cyclical way of thinking of wanting the approval of society. So worldlings have been taught to mind their own business and to not interfere, to cause others to be upset with them. So worldlings, as obedient slaves, they obey this commandment of society. It's really a commandment of devils. So when worldlings, now there are exceptions, but in general, when worldlings see something escalating, they tend to just walk away or they tend to turn a blind eye. And look at this. A 15-year-old girl was brutally murdered and then set on fire, causing a big trauma in the community. And the killer is on the run. How can she be on the run for so long? Now, either she's dead because that so-called boyfriend ended up killing her afterwards, or she tried it with someone else and she was killed. But in any case, if she's still alive, ask yourself the following. How was she able to do that and just continue with life as normal? Because the ex-boyfriend was now in prison, is telling, after the murder happened, she just went back to work as usual. Listen, I'm not a psychologist by degree. I'm an anthropologist, you know that. I'm also a sociologist. But one thing I know about human psychology, if you just committed a horrible crime like that against another human life, there are going to be signs and symptoms in your behavior that you're distressed. There's going to be some type of discomfort coming out of you. Nobody noticed that? Listen, saints. When it comes to worldly people, do not expect the best cooperation for your safety and your well-being. Do not expect it. Because 9 out of 10 times, they will just turn a blind eye and continue in their cycles. And if they later hear something very bad happen to you, they will mourn about it for a day or two, and afterwards they'll say, well, what happened happens, everyone dies, will make up some dumb excuse to excuse their neglect, and they'll continue. I'm telling you, a lot of worldlings, when it comes down to it, they'll drop you. They'll betray you. They'll leave you behind in danger. Now, there are exceptions, but most of the time you're not dealing with exceptions. So, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. I'm telling you, be at peace.